Some of you young people need to be very careful about who you're hanging around with, because you just might end up marrying and becoming unequally yoked. And don't kid yourself. It's one thing to date and to go visit each other and to accommodate, and it's okay, I'll change him after we get married. But it's another thing once you're married. Bible says, don't be unequally yoked. And precious young people, most likely you will find the person you will marry at the places that you go to most often. So where are you hanging around? Nobody will bring you down quicker than a pagan spouse. And these things are very important, my friends. Nobody wants to talk about them. Nobody wants to say anything, and it is extremely difficult to talk to people when they're in love. I'm not sure that I know how to do that. As a pastor, one of my most difficult things is when a couple comes and asks me to marry them, and one of those two is a person who just simply is not interested in spiritual things. Woe betide me if I said to them, well, then I'm not going to marry you. I'd probably have a section of the church walk out. People would get so upset. I'm just sharing with you, folks. These things are very important, and parents, some of you are opting out of your responsibility. You're not teaching your kids this. You're not warning them. And the practice of life tells us these things. And this is part of God's instruction, and it's difficult to come to grips with. And let me just tell you something, God's on his throne. I have seen countless numbers of people who have married spouses who don't know Christ and whose heart and affections are on anything but on the Lord. And I've seen God do great things. There is hope. Never give up. God answers prayer. I'm telling you, God will use you mightily in the life of that person that you're married to. And you marry a person who doesn't know the Lord Jesus Christ and whose heart is set on anything, you will have a tremendous predicament in your marriage that nobody wants to talk about. Where do your children go? What do they do? Where is your affection? Where do you spend your time? How do you spend your money? Which church do you go to? If you go to church at all. How do you bring up your children? Children get caught between a rock and a hard place. Bible says, don't be unequally yoked. Any questions this morning? I will look forward to getting at least 10 letters on this subject. Ahab married a pagan, and Jezebel contributed greatly to his already weakened state.